Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who came to us in the persons of Master Fard Muhammad. And I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is indeed thine exalted Christ. And I furthermore indeed bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our divine reminder, leader, teacher, and guide. I greet you all in the nation greeted words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. All praise is due to Allah. On behalf of Brother Albert and the Let Us Make Mad family, as always, family, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you for taking your time to read our posts, watch our videos, support our cause, our efforts in the plight of the black community. We can never thank you enough. I just really want to take a few minutes of your time, as normally we do our best to try not to make these videos over lengthy in regards to making our point pertaining to the session or the subject at hand. And based on the efforts of the NAACP in Missouri, and we thank Allah for their efforts in standing up and making Missouri the example of what Black America should know and needs to know by making or announcing the travel ban or awareness of the state of Missouri. In our research, we find we always knew that Missouri wasn't the only one. However, we want to point out the 10 most dangerous states for Black America to travel in or through. And is your state one of those states? Number 1, Mississippi. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, Tennessee. Number 5, Louisiana. Number 6, Arkansas. Number 7, Georgia. Number 8, Kentucky. Number 9, Missouri. And number 10, South Carolina. Those are the current, according to the status quo in 2017, the 10 most dangerous states for Black Americans to either live in, travel through, or have any sort of affiliation with it. Mind you, each state that we announced are governed by Republican governors, all of Caucasian race. There is no mystery to what's really happening and what's really going on. The issue is, how do we counter these serious problems that we have? For many of us who may not be immediately affected by what's happening in these states and those runner-up states, particularly New Jersey and New York. Those are just 2 of the runner-up states. Florida. These are states that have no respect or no value for Black life based on those that actually govern these states. The problem with Black America falls is we tend to allow others to make decisions for us and who we choose to run our states in terms of government or governor, lieutenant governor, mayors, and all of these things. Majority of our people get caught into the race baiting situation, which means to have a black face in a political seat means something to a lot of us, and it does, but it never gets nothing done. For 8 years, we had an African American president, and many of us applaud having an African American president. I was one that was excited for the first 4 years to be alive, knowing that America has just elected their first African American president. But the one thing that I stuck by and I knew, just for being a follower of the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, as is taught today by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the first black president of America, Barack Hussein Obama, he was not elected as a black president or for black people. He was elected the president of the United States for the citizens of the United States. And this was his job. Even if he had some intentions or he wanted to make some effort into try to aid and assist black Americans or African Americans, however you want to term it, I didn't allow myself to get overreacted and expect the extreme from Barack Obama when he was the president. I myself personally expected from Barack Obama the same that I expected for any president that I was aware of coming up. And that is that justice is served equally across the board to all the quote-unquote so-called American citizens, particularly blacks in America, who are suffering far more and far worse through an unjust system. So now that you have a new regime in office, a new administration that caters to this type of injustice, a president that's promoting police brutality worldwide, and because you have that kind of president, these 10 states will become far more extreme and institute laws that will continue to suppress blacks in America. Now, there are a selective few African Americans that are successful and that are not victims to the extreme of the injustices that the average black man and black woman endure here in America under her corrupt and crooked laws. But when we stop focusing on the reality of the people, if you go and Google these 10 states, and I will repeat them before this session is over with, but if you go and Google each state that was mentioned, all these states are governed by white people. Does that make me a racist? No. But does it make them a racist that they are unable as well as unwilling to see to it that justice is served equally across the board? Something that just cannot be done. It is not in the nature of these white people to serve justice to black people. Michael Brown was gunned down in 2014 in the state of Missouri, which caused all kinds of hell and uproar. In 2014, in 2017, that's 3 years after the death of Mike Brown in the state of Missouri, countless African Americans, men, women, and children died by violence at the hands of men and women in uniform that were supposed to be there to protect them and offer them the same protection that they offer any quote-unquote citizen in America. See? So we're talking about the reality and this travel warning that was instituted or issued by the NAACP, making Missouri #1 on the list. And we recited the other 9, which makes a total of 10 of the most worst cities for black people in America. And we can't continue to pretend that we don't see this or we don't know that this is going on. Denial is the biggest problem among our people. Our unity as a people is our only way out. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan spoke just recently in Washington, D.C. at Reverend Willie Wilson Church. He spoke about a number of different issues and emphasized more so on our unity. This is our only way. Separation. We are a great people, intelligent, wise black men and black women. And we are able to accomplish our own and do for self. It is clear, 460 years up from slavery, justice still is impossible for black people to obtain under white rulership. It's just that simple. This is not about racism or bigotry. This is about reality. That 10 of the most worst cities in America for black people to travel in, to visit, to live in, without being affected or being shot or killed by the same people who took sworn oaths to hold up the laws of the states and the federal laws, right? To show you how wicked these white people is, Jeff Sessions, which is the Department of Justice, the Chief Department of Justice under the Trump administration, just issued a rule that they are looking to investigate and arrest members of their own administration who they're charging with treason towards the Trump administration. These are white people in power. See, when they get power, they abuse their power and they use the system to do it, and they do it well. They use the FBI, they use the CIA, they use the DEA, they use the local, the federal police, the sheriff's department, and a lot of the members of these departments are gung-ho to participate in some of the most heinous crimes under the badge because they are allowed to do so. It's interesting that we as a people allow this without really looking in and researching what's going on. I'll repeat, for those who might have just joined us, and I mentioned the 10 most dangerous states. Is your state one of those states? Number 1, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, Kentucky, Missouri, and South Carolina. These are, in 2017, 10 of the most dangerous states based on federal and state law for black people to live and survive in. And it's not so much being shot by the police or being arrested in jail forever for unjust causes, but it's the administrations, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the mayor, the city council. These are the people that put law and ordinance in place. And they never put laws and ordinance in place for you and I to benefit off of. If you live anywhere in the ghettos of America and you go and you attend your city council meetings faithfully, they never put laws in effect in your local city that will benefit you as a people in terms of your environment where you live. We pay taxes when black people shouldn't have to pay taxes. We're forced and made to pay taxes and threatened if we don't pay taxes. So if you work for anybody, they take their money up front and then charge you if you underpay. Right? According to them. This is their rules. This is how it's set up. But the 10 most worst states that I mentioned are governed by all white people, all white governors. And you have to understand something about running for office. When you run for office, and I had the honor when I was in Paterson, New Jersey, to run for a seat on the Board of Education. I was young and I was naive. I think I was doing it just for the experience. I really didn't have an ideal of what it was about, but in doing so, I learned that you need sponsors and backers. In order to get sponsors and backers to support and back you, you have to come to some reasonable and agreeable terms that those who back you will benefit off of your victory. You follow me? So every governor in the United States have sponsors and backers that they made deals with behind closed doors that they have to cater to once they win the seat. See? And most of these deals, if not all of these deals, are never in our benefit as a people. It is always in the best interest of the powers to be, the businessmen and women, those who have the money or the finances to rule your local municipality, your judges, your prosecutors, all of these people. Yes, we want out of America and her governing body. But while we are still stuck and dealing with it and have basically no other choice, we have to begin to move strategically in order to counter what we're dealing with. Because these white people, they put laws in motion. And what sparked the move in Missouri by the NAACP was the laws that they instituted, which makes it impossible for someone to file a federal or state lawsuit against the state and win. These people are intelligent. So the more the police shoot and kill someone, the more the state and federal government has to pay. They can't continue to do that without going bankrupt. So to counter that, they changed the laws, which makes it impossible for you to file a suit for any injustices, whether it's unfair labor practices or anything to that effect that may cause you to sue the state or the federal government. So it'll be difficult for you in the state of Missouri, the state of Texas, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, any one of these states, that these Caucasians are protecting their best interests. So your life definitely have no value. They know that black life have no value. Black lives never had value to white people. That slogan came out and brought the truths out, based on everything that's transpiring and everything that's happening to black people in America. When the world is looking at and watching what's going on in America and what's happening to black people, then you wonder why most immigrants from various nationalities and countries come to our communities and have no respect for us. They showed a video recently on Facebook. A sister was purchasing some items out of an Arab store, Indian, whichever one it was. They all not Arab. But the sister was purchasing some things from the store. And the video shows the owner must have thought that she was trying to steal, though she had the money. And he beat her so bad. This is live on video. This disrespect comes not only for the way we carry ourselves, but the way these governments and these governors are instituting law, which makes it virtually impossible for us to be protected by the government. So we have to stand and come together. And as I said in the past, put aside our petty differences. We all not gonna die rich. And even if you do die rich, none of your riches are going with you. We have to start preparing for our children. Take back our children from the streets of America. There's no such thing as gangs. That is an illusion in the mind that has been played up so that our young people can assume and think that being in the gang gives them some sense of security. That starts at the home front. But the black home has been so broken and so divided based on economical suppression and oppression. Not just the fact that there's no husbands or men in the household. That is a design and a divine plan that you break the black home up. Majority of black men in America that get prison time get astronomical prison time. Keeps them away from the home front for many years. So that makes the black woman independent. So if a black woman is independent for 10 to 20 years and is doing things on her own, in her mind, she has no need for a man, because this is what has been created. We're not justifying the shortcomings of black men, but black men are not the only one with shortcomings. I'm trying to show you how these governors and these states are able to institute laws that are not in our benefit and in the best interest of their own business and associations. See? So if you keep the black home divided economically, if you keep them suppressed and oppressed economically, financially, then it's difficult for a black man and a black woman to come together in a union and stand together in a union. Like it was many years ago for those who have grew up in a household where you had your mother and your father available in a marriage. See? There was a system that exists that did not suppress them to the point where the man had to work from can't see dusk to can't see dawn. Right? Or the black woman has to go and work 2 to 3 jobs and leave the children home to be fended by the older child. This is the suppression that is divinely planned by the government, that y'all think we're paranoid when we discuss issues like this. But they know what they're doing. Research the laws of the states that I announced to you and see if your state is on the list, and find out what your state officials, mayors, governors, lieutenant governors, and all of these people in power, find out what are they really doing for your local municipality, for your city, for your school districts. And the school districts are horrible throughout America, even in the white community. They're not successful. They're not producing able-bodied mind children. This is why the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that we should teach our own children. But it's impossible to do when 80% of the family is broken, if not 90%. And the government has set up a system which keeps the black man and the black woman dependent upon her. The system. So if you know that the system will aid and assist you for 25 years, and you take that 25 years and do nothing with it, you become dependent upon the government, which is what they want. To keep you dependent upon them, that you have no will or no power to free yourself financially and economically, that we can raise our own and protect ourselves from this injustice that we are receiving throughout America. This is not paranoia talk. This is a reality, family. And if you have not been victimized, you wouldn't really understand. I can relate because I know what it's like to be a victim of an unjust judicial system. Paterson, New Jersey, one of the worst, the 3rd largest city of the state. One of the worst when it comes to injustices in terms of dealing with black and Hispanic people. The crimes that are committed 90% of the times are nowhere in comparison to the time that is instituted upon the black and Hispanic male and female in the city of Patterson. I'm just explaining to you or trying to show you how I can tell you that I know what it's like being a victim of an injustice system. State laws are set up by governors like Christie of New Jersey. My God, how did this man become governor? And has no morals, no decency, no respect. This is what we allow to dictate our livelihood and our future. People like that. See, the governor of Ohio. How do these people gain so much power? They're not that intelligent. They use the intelligence that surrounds them. They use the men and women that surrounds them to stay ahead of the game. So think about what I'm sharing. This is vital and valuable information. If you live in one of these states, you know without me having to go on and on and on what I'm talking about. You know the injustices that our people are receiving. Florida is a running-up state. Many black people are always talking about, I want to go back to Georgia. Georgia is one of the 10. One of the 10 most worst states for black Americans to live in. But many of us love Georgia. We'll die for Georgia. Many of us hold our states up like a banner, knowing these states don't give a damn about us. They show it. Texas, hang 'em state when it comes to black people, black men and black women. See? So what we saying, family, overall, is discussing the 10 most dangerous states in America. And I thank Allah once again that the NAACP chapter in the state of Missouri took a stand at their national meeting and put it out, an amber route. And I think that every state that we mentioned should go on your Facebook page or your Twitter page as a travel alert. Our people need to know, man. Most of them don't take time to listen to this type of talk. As soon as they turn it on, especially at the beginning, they won't go through it. So we have to help each other and let our people know this is just 10 out of 50. This 10 of the most worst, not counting the runners up. We have to know what states we're going in, what to expect, how to drive, how to look, how to talk. It's a sad reality until we separate and begin to do for self. Our unity is our way out, regardless to your religious perspectives. And another thing, family, before I end, religion is what got us all messed up as a people. We debate and we argue about stuff that really is not relevant to what we're going through. Because the peoples that are in power don't give a damn about religion. The governor of Louisiana, the governor of Texas, the governor of Alabama, South Carolina, Missouri, Kentucky, Georgia, Arkansas. They don't give a damn about religion. If they thought anything of the religion that they gave our forefathers, there would be no way in the hell that we would receive and continue to receive the same injustices that we are receiving here in America. So with that being said, family, I just wanted to share a few moments of your time. Thanking you so much for giving your little brother an opportunity. All I'm doing is sharing what I believe Almighty God Allah put on my heart. And I'm not saying that I'm 100% right, But I believe that the Spirit of God is with me and showing me these little pointers that I'm pointing out, because it's greater than what I'm saying. It's way more to this than what I'm talking about. These people, meaning those in power, white people, the Republicans, under Donald Trump's administration, they're going to take all that they can. Because remember, Donald Trump has always been a greedy and corrupt businessman. Now he has the cachet of the entire country in his pocket, the entire world to that effect. So do you think that Donald Trump is going to walk away from that office without enriching himself and his associates at your and my stake, your blood and my blood on the table? Think about it. And all his constituents, Jeff Sessions, all these people that surround him, all rednecks, all racists, they hate niggas. They don't care nothing about black people, even black people in uniform, black people that work for the government, black people that work in law enforcement and the agencies. They care nothing about them. As long as they doing what they supposed to do. They took a sworn oath to protect or serve. They're not going to protect or serve you and I. That's not what the oath is about. It's to protect and serve the best interests of the business men and women in America. Because that's what America is, a corporation. It's a business. Within the 50 states of the United States, you have America. One great big corporation. And this is why we need to put the Amber Alerts out, and we need to follow suit with the NAACP. And if your state is on the list, don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, inbox it to me. Inbox whatever information you can. I'll put it out there. I fear no God but Allah, the one the messenger represents to us, Master Father Muhammad. So I don't have no fear. I'm not cocky or arrogant. I believe in what we're being taught. I believe in what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is giving us. I believe in his guidance. So as long as I steadfast on that order, I have no reason to fear no man. So if you're skeptical and you don't really want to put your name out there in your Facebook, all that other stuff, inbox it to me. Email me. albertmuhammad.aj@gmail.com. They know all this. I'm not worried about the Facebook, FBI, and all that other stuff. They're listening. Of course they're listening. They're listening to all of us. Whether you talking politics or you just putting pictures up, they're there. And they need to know that we are aware. And we're making our people aware. That's our responsibility. That's our duty. Is to go out and not save our people. Thank you for listening. I leave you as I came before you. And the nation greeted words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Peace. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, family.